Welcome once more. It's time for Shelf Life Video Reviews Online, and I hope you'll enjoy the book I'm about to review for you today. It's definitely a most highly recommended book, and hopefully after the end of the review you'll very seriously consider purchasing it because it is definitely a classic. The book is called Fear is Just a Word: A Missing Daughter, a Violent Cartel, and a Mother's Quest for Vengeance by Azam Ahmed. This is published by Random House and it retails for $37.99. Azam Ahmed is a most gifted New York Times reporter. He has won various awards for his writing, and this book is certainly award winning. It is actually his first attempt at a book, and if it's any indication, we expect big things from this very talented reporter. The book looks at the Mexican cartels that have taken over a lot of Mexican towns. We hear a lot of the Mexican drug trade, the cartels, the fights, and the slaughter of the innocents. And this is basically a look at that. The book does revolve around the death of a young girl, Karen Rodriguez. She was kidnapped from her home, and her mother, Miriam, was requested to send $77,000 to free her daughter. So she rounded up the money. She was not a rich woman, but she rounded it up and sent it to the kidnappers, and still the daughter was not returned. Now they began asking for other bits of money as well too, which Miriam did. She did everything that was requested of her, and still her daughter was not returned. So the cartel was one of the biggest in the area. They were called the Zeta, and they were in San Fernando, Mexico, which was about 100 miles from the U.S. border. And they basically held control of that community, that small town, and areas surrounding the town. The cartel was very violent. They recruited a lot of young people to do their dirty work. And actually one night, 72 migrants were slaughtered, and their bodies were buried in a mass grave near a farm. And when Miriam realized that it was unlikely that her daughter was coming home, she just did not sit idly by and say, well, it happened. She started contacting the officials, the police, and anyone who would listen. And one night, Marines came to a farm area and killed 6 of the cartel members, 3 men and 3 women. And it was just the beginning of Miriam's revenge on the cartel. She started to ask about who the leaders were, who might have been responsible for the abduction of her daughter and the death of her daughter, and she heard names. And once she heard those names, she was like a pit bull. She went after these people, and she either had them incarcerated or taken out. And she found out exactly what happened to her daughter. It was not a nice thing to hear that the daughter was beaten and then she was strung up from a tree, and that's how she died. Then she was buried in a field, a farm field. And when bones were dug up, she wanted to make sure that they were her daughter, so she had them sent for forensic testing to prove that it was her daughter. It was only a few bones, but that was the beginning of her, well, sort of closure. But there was no closure because she wanted to get to the head of the Zeta, and she found out going up the chain of command that one by one she had the people taken care of. She found out who they were, and she never feared for her life because it was all about her daughter, and not only for her daughter, but other people in the area who had loved ones abducted and murdered. Like some of the people that were kidnapped were returned, but a high percentage of them were not returned. So this book really, really goes into detail about the workings of the cartel. And we wish the book had a happy ending, but on Mother's Day 2017, Marian was in front of her house and a truck pulled up and someone came out and shot her 8 times. She subsequently died in the hospital. But her quest for justice continued Others took up the challenge of making sure the Zeta did not still run rampant in the area, and a lot of the members were either jailed or they did die, like I said. And so this is definitely a book that it has taken a true crime, book to the heights of great writing beyond our expectations. It is like a fiction book in many ways, like a thriller fiction. It's a book that you will not stop turning the pages because you want to see what happens, how it happens, and how Miriam succeeded in her quest. So Fear is Just a Word is definitely a book that you should add to your reading list, to your must-buy list. So if you do purchase it, please let me know if you do agree with my review. So thank you for watching. I will be back very soon with another excellent book. Until then, stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, and I will see you at the bookstore. Bye for now.